Okay, this is a quick refresher on how to make sure that your personal monitor unit slash DI is hooked up correctly. Now, the way I've got it set up right now is a typical setup, and then I'm going to show you the second way we do it, which is how we have the base do it. Now, I've got the base equipment here, but for the sake of this first run through, we're going to pretend this is something else. We're going to say this is the acoustic, maybe it's the keyboard. Either way, you've got an instrument, and you have an output cable from that instrument going to the DI. It goes into the one that says instrument in. If you get confused on this, I know this can look confusing seeing all those lines and everything, but all you really have to do is just read what's right here. Inst in means that's where the instrument goes in, and then left or right out if it's a stereo out. Usually we just run it into left, and then of course there is the instrument level. If you want more of that instrument, the line level is just your overall monitor mix. If they sing also, you can run a microphone in and then run the microphone out back to the snake, and they can control their mic volume also. This is a standard setup. Now the bass guitar station, so if you have to move bass guitar and repatch it, there's a certain way bass has to be hooked up. We don't actually run bass out of the personal monitor amp. We run bass directly out of our bass processor, which is the Sansamp right here. Okay, let me struggling here. Let me get this in here. Okay, so the way the bass signal goes is from tuner process input to the processor, output to the Rolls or the personal monitor amp. But instead of going out to the snake from here, we're going to use the output on here. We do this for two reasons. One is because this is powered by phantom power from the board, so we have to get electricity to this thing from the soundboard for it to come on. If you don't have it in the right channel and it's not going into XLR, we won't get that power feed. Second reason is equally as important. There's always a small residual amount of monitor bleed on every one of these units. On most instrument stations, the overwhelming majority, it's so small that nobody even hears it. The only time we hear it is if the instrument is turned way down and we have to push the gain or push the compression. So most of the time the noise floor is high enough to where you don't notice it. We compress bass guitar a lot. So when we do that, it brings up the noise floor where the click bleed is, and it can cause click bleed in the system on the bass area. So that's another reason we do that. So just a quick refresher. Remember, it's usually the instrument output cable of the instrument, or the guitar jack or the piano jack goes into instrument, and then out here to the snake, unless it's the bass player. Bass will run a 1/4 inch out into here, and it will run XLR out from here into the snake. All right, there you go. Have a great day, y'all.